Now, over the past couple of months, I've been able to add into my PS Vita collection some serious heavy hitters for a fraction of the price that you'll look to pay on eBay. And I've alluded to the fact that I use a little bit of a trick to get those games so cheap at CEX. And today I'm quickly going to tell you exactly how I do that. Kick off your shoes and relax your socks while we talk about how you can get games at CEX way cheaper than at eBay. Now, if you love retro gaming and retro game collecting, then you are in the right place, because here on the Chronik Spartan show, we love everything about retro gaming. If that sounds good to you, then hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content and hints and tips. Now, let's get into today's topic, how I use CEX, and specifically the CEX mobile app to get games really cheap. Now, first of all, let's caveat this. When I say really cheap, I'm referring to way under the price that they're selling on eBay. And this technique has worked brilliantly for me, specifically with the PS Vita. So there may be some nuances that make this more relevant to the PS Vita than for other game collecting, but I think it applies across all games in general. And in terms of price differences, we can be talking about games selling on eBay for about 80 quid and being able to get them on CEX for around about 30 or 40 quid. An absolutely great example is I was able to get the PS3 game Godzilla for I think it was £70 from CEX, a game which sells on eBay for over 100 quid. Now, I did subsequently sell Godzilla because after playing it, it really wasn't my cup of tea, and I was able to sell it for £110 and pocket a nice difference. Now, the way this works is that in CEX, there's two different ways of games being in stock. There's games being in stock in store, and there's games being in stock online. Now, when you search through the app, a game may be in stock in store, but it means it's not available for you to order it online. You can't have it delivered to your home. Now, if you live near the store that it's in stock, then great, you can walk in there and pick it up. But if it's in a store that is 100 or so miles away from you, it doesn't really make it feasible, and you probably pay more in petrol trying to get the game than if you just ordered it on eBay. But this is the sweet spot. What I do in the CEX app is I go through all the games that I want to get that are way cheaper in CEX than they are on eBay. And most people charge high prices for these games on eBay because when they look at CEX, they notice that they're out of stock throughout the most of the UK. Maybe 1 or 2 copies available in select stores. And your average gamer, when they look at CEX and they see that it's not available near them, they just assume it's out of stock in general. And this is going to be a game that isn't going to be easy to find or easy to order from CEX. So they're more likely to go to eBay and pay those higher prices. But here's the trick. There's so many stores across the UK, and the inventory in CEX is changing every single day and every single minute, for that matter of fact. And so what I do, I find all the games that I'm after and I'll add them to my wish list, even if they're out of stock. Now, like I said at the beginning, this works best for games that are in store in a couple of stores throughout the UK, but out of stock online. Because what you see happening is that you will have your watch list full with all these games out of stock. And all you have to do is open up your app. I used to do it when I was at the highest point of trying to get games, maybe every hour or so. And that sounds a bit excessive, but we're literally talking about 10 or 20 seconds to open up the app, go to your watch list and do a quick scroll through. And if the games you have are all games you're after, straight away the ones that become in stock will stand out like a sore thumb. You can click on those and order them within a matter of minutes. And if you're savvy enough and quick enough, you can get there before most of the resellers manage to get to them, because I'm sure this is what they do as well. Now, we're talking at the peak of my collecting. When this was working its best, I was going through and checking every hour. And in the period of 24 hours, I would say around about 5 or 6 different games that I thought were so hard to find and pretty much out of stock in CEX would pop up as in stock. 9 times out of 10, it was games that were in stock in store and therefore would then get transitioned to the online inventory, because I think this is what they do. Different stores work differently and have different games available online at different times, but it was ones that were available with 1 or 2 stock in the UK were likely to pop up as available to order online pretty shortly after that. This does get trickier with games that are completely out of of stock in CEX, none available online and none available in stores, which means they're completely out of the inventory. However, with the PS Vita, like I said, this still seemed to work pretty well. PS Vita, a console which is still in that transition stage where people who owned it, who aren't collectors, are just getting rid of the games, quite often will take their games to CEX. And this way I started to see a lot of games like the Danganronpa series, for example, that were completely out of stock, popping up available to order online after about 3 or 4 days of searching. Now there are a couple of games that are still really difficult for me to find, like Danganronpa 3 for example. That sells for 80 quid on CEX but about 130 to 150 quid on eBay. So even at 80 quid it's still a steal at CEX. Now there is one issue. Because these games are so rare, they aren't always in great condition. That doesn't mean though that they don't get delivered to you in great condition. Out of, let's say, 40 games I've ordered, I'd say there was only 1 or 2 that I wasn't happy with, and I could comfortably take them back to a local store. You see, the thing is with games, with the online orders of CEX games, specifically ones I think of the PS Vita generation, CEX are starting to become aware that buyers want quality content. I think they've had a bit of flack previously, and so there was plenty of times when I'd order a game and then I was told the order wouldn't be fulfilled because the game either wasn't in good enough condition or they couldn't find it. Now I'm happy for them to do that because it means it doesn't waste my time receiving a game that was in bad condition. And that's why I think out of 40-45 games that I ordered from CEX over the period of 2 or 3 months, there was literally maybe 2 of them that I wasn't happy with. All of the other ones were in pristine condition, and 9 times out of 10 had all the inserts as well. For example, Tales of Hearts R had the full manual included in it. Now this isn't a guaranteed way to work, but I can tell you over the experience of 2 months ordering games for the PS Vita, the 3DS, the PS3 and the PS2, 9 times out of 10 this has worked brilliantly for me, and I've gotten games way under the asking price of eBay. And in some instances where I've ordered multiple games in the hopes of just one coming in case the orders weren't fulfilled, and I ended up with multiple copies of the game, I was then able to sell those games on at eBay for a higher price and to recoup some of my costs. And that is how I've been using the CEX app to get some awesome deals in my retro gaming collection. Now I hope this works for you, and I'd love to get some feedback on if you try it. The one thing I will say is to be careful to not get addicted though, because this is a quick and easy way to just get addicted to buying so many games. It's so easy and so quick to do, you can quickly spend a lot more money than you realize, so do beware of that and don't blame me if your addiction gets a bit out of hand. Now if you've enjoyed this episode and you love retro gaming hints and tips, then hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time.